next again?
No, I think, yeah, you remember.
We're ready.
Ready? Yeah.
I came back, I thought you were gonna be so insecure. Sorry.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the ad hoc committee meeting for Saturday, February 7th. If you want to hook on to a live broadcast of this meeting, if you're not present, that number would be 1-669-254-5252. Meeting number ID 161-483-5582. Press pound and press pound again when prompted for participant ID. The Zoom link is www.zoomgov.com webinar/register/WN. Is there any public comment from a Zoom person, for anybody on Zoom today, or is it strictly the people in our room?
It's strictly in person today, Mr. Chair, and we just need to start with a roll call.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Sure. Chair Stein.
Present.
Chair Mejia.
Present.
Vice Chair Murray.
Present.
Vice Chair Sanchez is absent. Commissioner Thomas.
Present.
Commissioner Andres.
Present.
5 members are present, Mr. Chair.
Okay, I know that we're honored to have Councilwoman Yaroslavsky present today. And if you would like to address us, please, if you could keep it to 5 minutes, would be much appreciated. Thank you. I just want for the rest of the public, your time does not count against the hour that we've set aside for public comment.
Okay.
Or any other elected officials or representative of an elected official. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Stein and members of the ad hoc committee. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today, and thank you for the work you've taken on over the last few months. I also want to start by thanking the members of the public who've shown up meeting after meeting, committee after committee to share your ideas and concerns and proposals. Charter reform is not glamorous work. It's detailed, it's technical, it requires patience. And it requires a willingness to debate big structural questions that most people do not have time to think about in their daily lives. But this process matters because the charter is the foundation of how Los Angeles governs itself. And for better or worse, so much of what the city does and so much of what the city struggles to do is shaped by what is written into the charter. If something is in the charter, it's not easy to change. It takes a vote of the people, it takes time, it takes resources, it takes a public process. Which means the charter needs to be treated like what it is, a governing framework, not a catch-all storage closet for rules and structures that should be handled somewhere else. That is why the theme I want to offer today is simple. Make it make sense. Over time, we've gotten into the habit of adding things to the charter, but rarely taking things out. And as a result, the charter has grown into a document that often makes governing harder, more expensive, and less efficient than it needs to be. A strong charter should set the rules of the road. It should define roles, checks and balances, accountability, and the basic structure of government. But when we hard code too many operational details into the charter, we freeze the city in place. We make it harder to modernize. We make it harder to respond to real world problems. And we make it harder to run government like an organization that should be able to learn, improve, and adapt. One clear example is how we structure council operations. If this commission moves forward with expanding the city council, which this committee is already seriously considering, we should also take a hard look at the charter rules that dictate how the council organizes itself. For instance, the charter requires that there is a committee for every council member to chair. That might have made sense in a different era. It does not make sense today, and it will make even less sense if we add more seats. The council itself should be able to decide how to divide up its work based on the needs of the moment. We have no flexibility right now. The charter should not be a committee structure that creates unnecessary bureaucracy and inefficiency. Those decisions should live in the council rules, not in the city's constitution. Another example is contracting. If you want a case study on why residents feel like government moves too slowly and costs too much, look at our contracting process. The city's contracting requirements are a straitjacket. They create delays, added costs, and unnecessary red tape. I'm going to give an example from my own office. We recently held a grand opening for a new city facility. We needed portable restrooms, a basic, straightforward service. We reached out to a vendor, we received a quote. Then they realized the request was coming from the city, and the quote doubled. When we asked why, the answer was blunt: it was the charter. Our contracting rules make it more complicated, more time-consuming, and more expensive to do business with us. And that's not a small problem, because this is multiplied across every single commodity we buy, every single service we procure. We are overpaying for everything, and double is actually pretty good. I've seen 5-10 times more. We are getting hosed. And that's a structural problem. It costs us money that we need to be spending paving our streets, fixing our streetlights, and delivering for Angelinos. If the charter is part of what creates those structural barriers, then this is exactly the type of issue this commission should take on. A third example is our hiring pathways for mid-career professionals. Los Angeles needs talent. We need mid-career professionals with specialized skills. People who have built expertise in technology, data, engineering, construction management, budgeting, emergency management, and operations, and so on, real estate. But right now, our system is structured in a way that makes it extremely difficult for someone in the middle of their career to enter public service. Functionally, the pathways are limited. Either you join early, or you come in later after retirement, or you land in an exempt position, of which there are very few. And that is not sustainable for a modern city. If we want better performance, we need to make it easier to recruit and retain skilled people who want to serve. That means modernizing hiring rules, career ladders, and pathways into civil service. And again, we need to ask what belongs in the charter and what belongs in the city's code or civil service rules, where adjustments can be made without requiring a citywide ballot measure by the people who were elected to do the governing of the city. Another issue is how we define and mandate departments. Right now, the charter locks in certain structures that deserve a second look. Why does the charter mandate some departments that could be consolidated or modernized? Why do we have a paid commission structure for certain functions that might make more sense under a unified department model? Public Works is a great example. And why are there major functions like transportation that arguably deserve clearer structural treatment in the charter? We should be working to ask those questions directly. The charter should reflect how the city actually operates today and how it needs to operate tomorrow. Finally, I want to speak briefly as budget chair. There are several recommendations being discussed that I strongly agree with in principle, including a stronger capital improvement plan and a more long-term multi-year approach to budgeting. The city needs a plan like a serious institution. We need clearer long-term budgeting, we need stronger infrastructure planning, we need accountability for capital projects, and we need to maintain clear financial oversight and independence, including keeping the Office of Finance as a distinct function. I can't underscore how important this is. I have a weekly standing meeting with the Office of Finance Director. It is a very important role that should not be consolidated. I'm happy to talk to you about it, as long as you want. The bottom line is this. This commission has a rare opportunity to improve how Los Angeles works at its core. Put in the charter what belongs in the charter, take out what does not. Give the city the flexibility to govern efficiently, responsibly, and transparently, and build a framework that helps Los Angeles deliver for the people who live here. On a final note, I'll just say, I've been in office now for 3 years. It is very, very hard to govern in the city of LA, and it's not for lack of trying. There are so many ways we've constrained our ability to do the most basic of things. And people, Angelinos, are experiencing that dysfunction, whether it's our streets that we can't repave, our sidewalks that we don't have a cap plan for. We've got 10% of our streetlights are out. This is basic stuff that if we could had some flexibility, we could do so much more with. And so it's been a particularly frustrating week on sort of the public service front for me, on the city services side for me. And so I'm grateful for the chance to be here because I think you do have the power to make it demonstrably easier for us to do our jobs. So thank you again for your work and thank you for the opportunity to speak today.
Thank you. I noticed that there's at least 2 more representatives of elected officials. Justin, who do we have? I mean, I see Anna and I.
Commissioner Thomas, I think, wanted to ask a
Oh.
question of the council member.
Excuse me, Councilmember. As far as I know and can figure out, there hasn't been any movement on removing things from the charter. And so what would be extremely beneficial is that, you know, you have spoken about some things that you think are important. And so what I think would be helpful is if you actually gave us a proposal, and maybe you have and I haven't seen it, of those things that you think would make sense to keep or to remove. And so I do appreciate the fact that you've come to us and that you have said this. I think what we have attempted to do was incorporate the voices of community. And I think that's something that doesn't happen often, even in City Hall. If you like the voice, then you affirm the voice. If you don't like the voice, then you demonize the voice. I'm not saying you personally, but that has been my experience in terms of people making public comment. And so one of the things that I think is important is that there was a time when there was no arbitrary time limit on public comment. There was a time when people got a chance to speak to City Council. I think that needs to return, because what has been frustrating for us is this idea that the people believe that they're not being listened to. And so we represent the people, allegedly. Allegedly we do. And so I appreciate what you have shared, but I really, really would like to see what things you think should be cut. And that could be true for all of your colleagues, that they would give us, because I'm not a city council person.
Right.
I don't work for government. I work for a university, and I can tell you that there are a lot of things that I know that needs to be cut in terms of the bureaucracy that happens at universities. And so that would be just extremely helpful for us.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good example right there, right? We were required in the charter to meet 3 times a week. I have no idea why. Most of those meetings are public comment, which I hear because between my council meetings and then the committees, I hear probably 10 to 15 hours of public comment on any given week. The time I get the most work done is when we're on recess, because you don't have butts and seats for 15, 20 hours a week, right? Public comment is very, very important. Also, making sure that we are able to get our work done is really important. And so I think there has to be a balance there. I don't know what that balance is. A lot of our public commenters are the same 15 people who scream expletives at us all day. I mean, if you haven't come and sat through one of the spicier ones, right? So, I mean, I've been called everything. And so I think it's important to think about, like, do you want to put that in the charter? I wouldn't. I would also take out from the charter that we have to do 3 meetings a week. Why? What if it's a light week and we only need 1? And then we can spend the rest of our time out in our districts talking to our constituents and trying to problem solve and get through the bureaucracy. So much of what we do is fight the bureaucracy to do their jobs, right? What if we could spend that time is freed up so that we could re-envision what the bureaucracy should look like, right? So we will get, I can't guarantee a red line, but we can get a bullet of some of the key things that we think should be taken out. I mean, I think, it's a very long document. I don't think it needs to be that long. I think you can have a charter, and then you can have some guidelines that the council and the mayor can change. That gives us the flexibility to make changes. It'll all be public if we do it. It'll be through council process. Mayor signs it, right? But it would give us some flexibility because, as I said, we are straitjacketed right now in a lot of ways, and people wonder why it's so dysfunctional. And it's like, how much time do you have, right? Like, and one of the reasons is the charter. There are a lot of other reasons too, which we could spend hours talking about, right? We budget by settlement. We don't fix our sidewalks because we're fixing our ADA ramps, and we don't have a new pot of money for sidewalks, right? Our streetlight assessment hasn't been, updated in 38 years, so our streetlights are falling apart. There's all sorts of other things that are also broken that we need to fix, but I think we will get either a red line or a list of things that we'd like to see moved out. And again, I'm 1 of 15. This is just my opinion, but
Well, I wish we could hear from all 15. I mean, I wish.
Well, don't call them personally all 15, or you'll have 15 ex-party reports.
And I'll turn them all in.
This is dead.
Every last one of them. I speak to them because I make public comment. And so, so the other thing, because there is a tension. There is a legitimate tension between what the community is experiencing. And while I certainly do agree with what you have said, the other piece of that is that why we're here, how we got here. We got here because of racist comments. And the problem with the way that was handled, and I think people have the right to be racist if they want to be. I mean, you know, you have a right to your opinion. You just don't have the right to use your office to do that. Donald Trump, if you're listening. So my question is, do you think that this can be solved with a public advocate? Do you think that the public would feel much better if they knew that there was a person who is charged with the responsibility of advocating for the people, and they had a consistent role and voice, not, therefore, you're not having to listen to the screaming folks in public comment, though that is what y'all signed up for, but not having to listen, but actually someone who has a policy expertise, who understands how government is supposed to work, but also directly connected with the community to make sure that the kinds of policies that the community needs to see to make their lives better are actually advocated for.
It sounds like what you're describing is the 15 members of council and the mayor who are elected by the people to do just that. I mean, and the reason why I'm saying that is because when you say someone to speak for the people, we are not a monolith. We're not a monolith, right? And so one person is going to have the power to decide what it means to speak for the people of Los Angeles.
It's the New York model. So that's not exactly what
I don't know much about that, but
no, I know.
But I immediately am wondering, like, who is that person? How are they selected? Are they elected? Are they appointed? Because then if they're appointed, they're just going to carry the water.
That would be something to figure out. But going
back,
back,
Commissioner Thomas, this is the public comment.
I know, but this is an important part. This is an important part. This is an important part. So, as a black person, am I to believe that all of city council is racist based upon what those city council people said? Because, and the reason that I'm saying that is, and I'm not saying that I believe that. I do, however, believe that white supremacy is in every one of our institutions. And it's a serious thing. It's a big deal that doesn't get dealt with. But what I'm saying is that did those city council people represent the people? So if they did, that means that those 3 city council persons, that their districts are racist and want to take power, electoral power, from black people, based upon the statements.
Again, Commissioner Thomas,
so that
this is the public comment
I know that it
period
is,
for
but
us to hear.
But I may not see.
All you need to do is make an appointment with the councilwoman or have a phone call with the councilwoman, but
I would love to do
we need to move on with today's agenda.
I would love to do,
And
but I'm just trying to
Can I just-
identify the fact
in
that
2
that pendulum
sentences
swings both
respond?
ways.
I think that's right, and they're all out of office. I mean, that's what it means to have a democratically elected body. They're all gone, and they should be gone, because what they did was unacceptable. I do not think that they represent their district, and I think the district said, well, we don't want you here anymore, and so they're gone. Look, I wasn't on the council when this happened.
I can't agree with that.
I wasn't there when it happened?
No, I'm saying I can't agree with the fact that is not the sentiment.
Again, this is the
But
public
I will stop
period.
I will stop my comments to the councilwoman.
Okay.
I'm just saying that pendulum swings both ways. You can't have it both ways. You can't say that we're representing the people, and then you have folk. It's just like saying that Donald Trump isn't representing the country. They don't
represent the people anymore. They're gone.
Well, but the damage has been done, and we don't even know what damage was caused by that. It wasn't just the words. What policies were connected with their ideology? How much money did the black community not get? What resources did the black community not get? No one has answered that question. And that's a significant,
And we're not
important
asking the
question.
councilwoman who's been gracious enough to come and speak with us, that engage.
I am asking the question.
Well, I'm asking that we move
I'm
forward.
done. I'm ready to move forward, but I would love to have this conversation.
I would welcome it.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Councilwoman, thank you for coming. I believe there's a representative of the mayor's office and the controller's office. Take the controller's office first. And again, if you could keep it within 5 minutes, I would appreciate, the commission would appreciate that.
I was expecting to be in regular public comment, so I prepared for under 2. So,
Okay, good, stick with it.
yeah, I just want to quickly touch on 4 things: audit authority, outside counsel, CFO, and public advocate. So this committee has previously passed a recommendation that the controller's audit authority be clarified, that it includes programs under elected officials, and we urge you to not reconsider this. We were not asking for a change. The plain language of section 261K of the charter doesn't include this limitation on the authority.
Could I stop you for
Yeah.
1 minute? Maybe I should have read the rules of the meeting today that I've set up. We're not going to ask for changes in anything, whether it's council size, police reform, the authority. This commission today is just going to say, these resolutions that we passed, we're sending forward to the city council, to the full commission, or no, we're recommending that it doesn't. And under those circumstances, it will be up to the full commission to review every one of the recommendations or items that we don't feel should be sent forward, but included in it, to be considered by the full commission if a commissioner makes a motion to change it. Our role today isn't going to be whether or not, only because you're speaking, I'm surely not picking on the controller, whether the controller should have independent this, or the controller should be able to audit that. We've made that decision. We're gonna see if the controller's recommendations are such that we're gonna send them forward. So you're free to speak on it, but please just know that we're not taking votes on making changes today, just on which items are gonna go forward.
Fair enough.
Okay.
And
that doesn't count in your time.
yeah, all good. No, but we just do want to reiterate, though, that performance audits are not open-ended investigations. These are conducted by accredited civil service staff, had limited scope, and are governed by strict professional standards. And so we're not asking for anything new. We're just asking for the commission to clarify, to allow what the voters voted for 25 years ago to actually go into effect. Moving on. One thing you did reconsider last week was about outside counsel, with the controller's office. And Commissioner Andrade made a very good point about how bifurcating the city attorney's office changes the calculus for outside counsel. And that is true. But the controller's office, like the ethics commission, is a special case there, we would argue. Because as an independent elected official, situations occasionally arise where our interests and the interests of another elected official, in this case, the elected officials who will be choosing our lawyer, might diverge. In the normal course of business, things like approving contracts, ordinance language, even lots of issues involving audits and investigations, everything's fine. But edge cases do come up. They've come up with us. They have come up with previous controllers, between us and the city attorney, or us and the mayor, or us and the council. And it is in those edge cases where we are asking that the controller be allowed to have access to outside counsel. CFO, just a question that Commissioner Stein had asked last week is, can someone bring me an idea for a CFO that is not the controller or not the CIO? Well, it's either going to be elected or appointed, wherever it is. And the crux of our argument is, if it's elected, the person answers to the voters. If it's appointed, they answer to the person who appointed them. This is the problem I think a lot of us have identified with the CIO, because the CIO these are qualified professionals who do a great job, but to say that they are totally independent and unbiased is not true. We know that the most consequential decisions are made by the policymakers, and then the CFO's job is to go in the back and figure out how to get it done. And an appointed CFO would work much the same way. So if you want a CFO that can publicly speak out and truthfully about the city's finances, not just to the mayor and council, but also to the people of the city of Los Angeles, it needs to be the elected city controller. And finally, Commissioner Thomas last week asked about, to clarify the controller's position on public advocate. The controller was responding to the public advocate as presented in the staff report. And one of the aspects of that staff report, the first thing it said was it would remove the controller's fraud, waste, and abuse unit and bring it to a public advocate. And that was the big thing we're responding to, because we're like, our fraud, waste, and abuse unit is actually working really well. It was actually a tip to that unit about people being served ramen noodles instead of real food at a homeless shelter that eventually led to what was a high-profile federal case. So that's what we're reacting to. We're not against creating a new role that increases representation and oversight, but we think it should be additive. We don't think it should be created by slicing off, different things that already exist and are working. If something additive is created, we would love to see that proposal. Thank you.
Thank you. I see Anna from the mayor's office. Would you like to speak?
Hello, Commissioners. My name is Anna Hovasapian, and I am the Mayor's Deputy Chief of Staff. In that position, I oversee policy-related matters. Mayor Bass came to the full commission several months ago at your very first meeting to talk about some of her priorities, including infrastructure, long-term capital planning, and budget. Since then, you've had many hours of discussion on these issues and on others. Thank you for your time and dedication to this. I'm here today on behalf of the mayor to talk about some of the recommendations moving forward. And as I understand from Commissioner Stein's comments, those won't be changed today. However, as they go to the full commission, I ask you to think about some of these things. On infrastructure, we support the establishment of a capital infrastructure plan in the charter. When Mayor Bass came into office, she signed Executive Directive 9 to streamline capital project delivery and to lay the groundwork for long-term capital planning and development across all of the city's departments. Codifying the CIP in the charter is an important step to ensure that this work continues for years and decades to come. In addition to the CIP, we'd like to thank you for keeping the Director of Public Works in the charter and for empowering that position to oversee the creation and the coordination of the capital infrastructure plan. The combination of these two recommendations will result in meaningful change in the way that the city plans and develops infrastructure. In addition to these changes, the mayor supports a 2-year budget cycle. Last month, you heard from the city's proprietary departments regarding some of the changes to the competitive bidding section of the charter. We support a best value model. Streamlined procurement, as Councilmember Yaroslavsky mentioned, will mean more competition, better response to the city's bidding process, and more small business involvement. Lastly, I'd like to raise some issues regarding providing one citywide elected official with the ability to audit another citywide elected official. To be clear, the mayor is not against auditing, but that power should not be vested with another elected official. We believe that the risks associated with such power, namely that it could be used for political reasons, are too great and create a conflict of interest. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Are there any other elected officials or representatives of elected officials present that wish to speak? All right, then we will go into the public comment period. And prior to that, I have a question, Justin.
Sure.
I know this is an ad hoc committee. Do we have to announce any ex-party communications, even though it's an ad hoc?
It's up to the commission. I think you can.
Okay, that's all I needed to hear.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Executive Director, will you please poll the commission as to if any of us have had ad hoc communications with elected officials?
Ex parte.
Parte, thank you.
So much Latin today. I'm so sorry. I'll just ask if any commissioner would like to raise their hand and volunteer if they've had ex parte communication since last meeting. Yes. Commissioner
I haven't had, since the last meeting, but I did meet with the controller and Mike several weeks ago before we were required to disclose.
You don't have to.
And we talked about the audit function, and I said hi to Anna today.
I said hi to Anna also, but I
For
don't
the
consider
record,
that
I
to fall
believe,
within.
the ex parte communication, does, pertain only to charter, related, discussions, so saying hello, greeting someone, asking about their family, etc., would not, qualify, but I understand out of the abundance of caution. Any other ex parte?
What yelling and screaming? Is
Yeah,
that-
it depends if it's about the charter. If you're just yelling
No,
and
just
screaming.
yelling and screaming at the person, just about them, not about the charter.
I feel like I'm walking into a
Unless-
trap.
I'm just saying, I wanted to yell
I
and
will
scream
rule
at an
from the
elected
chair
official.
that as long as the person that you're yelling and screaming at isn't coming back and having a discussion with you on a charter issue, you're
Okay.
free to yell and scream at whomever you want.
So when I do it, I'm gonna say that my chair said that it was okay. Instructed.
I'm not saying it's okay to yell and scream, I said that's not part of it.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm
I
sorry.
appreciate it. All right,
Commissioner Diego, have you?
I have nothing to disclose.
And I
Ray,
have nothing
I
to
have
disclose.
No ex parte.
And I have no, ex parte communication.
Thank you, commissioners. For the record, it seems like there's nothing reportable out of this meeting, but we'll ask again at the end of the at the end of the committee meeting.
Thank you. All right, public comment.
I do have a list, Mr. Chair, of, it looks like 5 folks who have signed up for public comment in the room.
And I missed the sheet.
So maybe, let's say there's 7 in the room, that would like to make 7 or 8, less than 10. How long would you like to?
I would like to give each member 3 minutes
Okay,
of
fantastic.
the address us and just give us the names.
Folks, I am gonna say your, call up 3 people at a time. I'll just give you 3 minutes and I'll give you a 30-second warning. Ms. Goodman, Chantel, and Nick are our first speakers. Okay, ready when you are.
Good morning.
Good morning, commissioners. I'm not really sure why we're having an ad hoc committee meeting. It seems we should be doing our work with the full commission. The League of Women Voters is a strong supporter of ex parte disclosure. We're sorely disappointed that you did not include staff in this rule. Transparency is critical to public trust. One thing you may not know about me is that I have been the chair of the Committee on Criminal Justice Reform for the League of Women Voters of Greater Los Angeles for 10 years. So you are not surprised why we have pushed the commission to include police accountability in charter reform. Angelenos cannot wait for a new commission to present in 2 years what we already know. Let me reiterate something that a number of times was spoken at last Thursday's commission meeting. Your job is to identify the best reforms for the city, not to worry about unions or to eliminate proposals to make less work for the council members. There's language about values that are appropriate for a preamble, perhaps. The staff can help you identify which recommendations belong in the charter and which can be handled through an ordinance. Please ensure that the full commission has the opportunity to weigh in on all of the policing reform recommendations listed in the staff report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Goodman.
Thank you so much. Chantel.
Can I ask your name, please? She's still here? Oh, there you are.
There she is.
You moved.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're glad you're back.
Thanks. Before I speak, could I first find out what the charter is providing, or as far as recommendations, which areas?
There was a list that was posted on the commission's website as to all of the actions that the ad hoc committee took during the meeting last week and the preceding Saturday before that. If you want to get out of line, look at your computer and then come back afterwards so that you know what those different motions have been. I have no problem with that, and you'll still get your 3 minutes.
And I have mine pulled up. so
She
you
can still speak to anything that she wants also.
Right.
I have mine pulled up, if you wanna see. I
Okay.
have the document that he's referring to.
And I
pulled
did
up.
see the areas like governance,
Yeah,
things like
it's,
that.
it's basically the chart.
But I didn't, see the specific, information in addition to that, but yes, I'll take a little more time
Okay.
to add to my message.
And if you want to get Commissioner Thomas's computer, if you don't have one with you, and if he's gracious enough to share it,
Okay. Thank you.
thank you so much.
His emails.
Next speaker, please.
Nick.
Thank you.
After Nick, we have Jeff and Patrick.
Hi, everyone. I think, at this point, I would like to speak for 3 minutes. And as usual with these late meetings, or later on in the process, I'll speak more.
Not there, Chantel. You're right in front of the camera, sorry.
Nika. I've been in every single one of these meetings. I've talked at length about things like personnel and hiring, budget management, transparency in the controller's office, council expansion, as well as the need for a capital improvement plan, staggered budgeting cycles, the ability for the city to have a clear vision of what it is going to look like in 2050. And these are all very abstract things, and I've gone into detail on how we can make them better. I do very much believe in the council members' notion, but at the end of the day, that to quote Commissioner Thomas, at the end of the day, a better charter will be one that is more succinct for things that require consistent updating, be not necessarily in the charter, but in ordinance. But I want to speak, one, as to the reason we're here, which is anti-corruption and public trust. And I think that one of the easiest and most significant wins we could do is to empower the city controller to have full audit authority and the ability to analyze the money as it's actually going through them. Not to necessarily be able to change where that money is going, but in order to be able to audit and be a watchdog on the part of the people of the city of Los Angeles. Not just would be a way to identify abuse, fraud, but it would be a way to have the public know that someone who is on their side is actually reporting these things. It goes a long way, not just for the clean and operative functioning of our city, but it goes towards having the people of Los Angeles actually believe that the city is really working for them. I think quietly, it is one of the most important things we could do, and I advocate strongly for its inclusion, is powering up the city controller and the recommendations of the city controller to be included in the recommendations. Number two, we're quietly now switching from talking to you fine people, which we still happily do, to getting temperature checks from the city council as to what is feasibly possible to get 8 votes on. It's a lot more than you would otherwise would think. Now, at our last Charter Reform Commission meeting, which was the full commission, we had a long period of conversation where we talked about the limits of this commission itself, saying we don't have enough time to go through the different commission. The staff might be overloaded, and I'm here to say, probably to my own chagrin, this job isn't being Mr. Rogers. The actual recommendations that need to come from this commission are the things that would actually change the city for the better. And just as there is a positive impact to the reputation and to the future of the people that make good reforms, it is also an equally negative impact to people that will nerf those reforms.
Thank you. Jeff Patrick.
Morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you so much for being here, Commission. And thank you to the community, and thank you to our elected officials for being out here on this Saturday morning. I know you guys have dedicated a ton of time to this, and so we're really grateful. My name is Jeff Derricott, and I am on the board for the Mid-City Neighborhood Council. I'm also the Strong Towns Los Angeles Executive Director, and I also work as an operations director for an affordable housing development firm within the city of Los Angeles. Today, though, I am speaking on behalf of Strong Towns Los Angeles, and I am not speaking on behalf of the Mid-City Neighborhood Council or my employer. I would like to speak on some suggestions for improving the charter reform to help address the challenges associated with housing in Los Angeles that relate to the capital infrastructure plan. To effectively solve the housing issues in LA and most cities in the US, 3 things need to be considered. 1, zoning. 2, who is actually doing the development. And 3, who is funding the development. I would like to encourage the Commission to consider 3 questions when providing recommendations surrounding the capital infrastructure plan and general charter reform. First, what framework is the charter setting up that will allow the zoning laws to help everyday Angelenos in all communities shape their respective homes and neighborhoods? Second, what framework is the charter going to provide around the funding process for increasing housing? And third, how is the charter going to impact who is doing the development? Change in the city is inevitable, but without the correct framework, change will be jarring and risky. All Angelenos deserve the opportunity to contribute to shaping their community. The charter reform has the opportunity to create a framework that incentivizes Angelenos to develop our city into a beautiful and equitable place. My team at Strong Towns Los Angeles are eager and willing to work with the Commission on providing consulting or efforts, obviously like not paying, but just we're happy to contribute however this Commission needs to provide insights. We want to see LA to become a prosperous and equitable place for all, and shaped by Angelenos. We don't need major, massive private equity firms telling how Angelenos 20 or 30 years from now should be living.
30 seconds.
Lastly, affordable housing is an important solution, but is not the only solution to making housing affordable. There needs to be reform in the city's approach to affordable housing, and the mayor's current efforts aren't panning out as hoped. There is so much money for affordable housing, but is dispersed in many sources, all with different requirements that often contradict each other. If the city wants to build better affordable housing, there needs to be more unification in the funding sources that are awarded for the development in the city. I encourage you to read the article by Ezra Klein in the New York Times 2 years ago about Los Angeles.
Thank you.
That's
3
a good
minutes.
start. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, all right. Those folks who haven't,
Well,
please.
is there anybody who wishes to speak
Yeah,
that
that's
hasn't signed up, and we will get back to Siobhan?
Can you send us that article if you haven't already?
I'm happy to.
Thank you.
What I can do is, can I email you anything, an additional thing, and I'd like to.
Yeah.
The question, because it probably hasn't been recorded, there was a question, could she email any comments that she would have made today?
Oh, no, I'm still
Oh,
having my
she's gonna
comments
speak today,
Additional.
but email any additional comments, and that is acceptable. That's fine.
Thank you.
Okay. Mayor Weinstein.
You're right at the camera, sorry.
And you look good, but we have to show everybody.
This is Michael's shot.
Go, Michael.
All right, go.
So, some of you know that in addition to coming and speaking with you, that I'm running for California Secretary of State. And there's a state issue which is relevant to your work. So US Supreme Court just said that Prop 50 will stand, which was the California pushback against Texas. And the story that is missed there, the fact that Texas drew lines to manipulate results, and the fact that California drew lines to manipulate results, shows that single-seat winner-take-all districts, by their very nature, deliver different results on how the lines are drawn. And California Prop 50's answer, just like LA's answer to that inherent problem, was to put in the initiative to say that we support independent redistricting nationally. Necessary but insufficient. There's a bill in Congress called the Fair Representation Act, which has been introduced several times now in the last several congressional sessions, that would allow, what essentially would turn the entire US Congress into multi-seat districts and elected by proportional ranked choice voting. There's also a lot of people who rightfully think that the size of the US Congress should be increased because it was frozen in place 100 years ago and the size of our country has increased greatly. So sometimes the universe works in interesting ways and we get a lesson from different places, and that federal dynamic and seeing this Texas versus California should be helping inform us here about the dialogue that we have. And so those of us who have been asking you to include in your recommendations proportional ranked choice voting, even if ranked choice voting for single seats is your primary recommendation, we're with the times, because the national debate over representation is also showing the same limitation of what's here. The other thing to just preview coming forward is, in addition to the last memo that we just gave you that started to look at a compare and contrast between single seat and multi-seat districts for representation, we're going to be forwarding you about a 120 slide document done by professionals who do racial demographic breakdown.
30 seconds.
And that's going to look at the 23, 25, 27, 31 and 33 seat single seat models, and a 27 and 33 with 9 and 11 multi-seat models. And we hope that you find a way to have an interactive discussion when you look at that. And I know that you don't want to invite everybody to come and present, but at some point to get into the tofu of that matter and to go deeply into those charts.
Thank you so much, Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
And last?
Siobhan?
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
two.
I'm sorry, there's one person.
There's two. Chantel, if you want to go.
You want to go, Siobhan, or do you
Chantal
want
or
to wait
Siobhan?
for one more? Okay.
Okay.
Good morning, Commissioners. Shear, Ashley. Thank you for the work that you've been doing. It's amazing the hours and hours that you spend on this, and I really appreciate it. I did not prepare my public comment, but I would like to get 3 minutes. I completely agree with Mr. Shear, who's from the Controller's Office. You guys are bifurcating or proposing to bifurcate both the city attorney and the controller. That's what my understanding is. That's 2 more jobs. A public advocate is 1 job, consolidated, and he said it correctly. It's an additive position. It does not take any kind of authority from the other. Ethics Commission, Commissioner Murray served on the Ethics Commission. There's a limited scope that they look at. They don't look at everything. Just like the controller's position is limited to certain functions. People of Los Angeles need an advocate. Call it a public advocate, call it an ombudsman, call it whatever you want. The fact is, I'm a psychologist, you've heard me say that before. I hear many, many stories of people who've been abused and taken advantage of by government entities, agents, everything from a lower inspector to an upper position. And there's no mechanism for holding those people accountable. Councilwoman Yaroslavsky, I work with her office. I mean, I don't get paid. I volunteer my time in my neighborhood because nobody else in the neighborhood likes to do what I'm doing. And everybody who, whether they lose their dog, whether their landlord is charging them too much money, whether the trees are not being trimmed, they come to me. I reach out to Councilwoman Yaroslavsky. Her office is inundated with complaints that they can't get the department heads to move on. They spend hours and hours trying to keep these departments accountable, and there is no accountability. Commissioner Thomas said representing people, and she quickly said, well, we represent people. I don't think she understands what a public advocate is. I think she became, offended that maybe there was a suggestion that she wasn't representing. She is, but she's representing us in legislative way. But she's not able to hold the department heads or departments accountable. She tells me that we have to keep dogging departments to get the answers.
Seconds.
Anyway, I really appreciate it. Lastly, this is just a suggestion for the commission, not just this commission, any commission in the city. Would you please add something that the commissioners need to be trained or have extra credit, of some sort of training for whatever it is that they're deciding on. A lot of times commissioners rely on the staff recommendation and they don't understand the actual.
Thank you, that's 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Chantel.
Siobhan?
Chantel. Chantel.
Now.
It's okay, it's French, everybody messes it up.
All right, bring the mic a little down. Perfect.
Well,
Go.
I have a speech here, but I also want to speak because I have lived experience that could add to the recommendations that you hold. I understand that as a resident in the city, the charter holds a lot of power and influence. I not only am a mental health therapist who is licensed in the city and who is well informed in trauma, anxiety, and all of the things, the impacts that people have as a result of a level of unresponsiveness, a level of not just perceived care, but actual care, and policies that affect people's daily lives and ability to feel safe, informed, and really that their money is going to a place where it's not disappeared. We have seen $100 million designated for wildfires disappear and vanish without any accountability, and the person is still running for office. We have seen over $20 billion earmarked for homelessness disappeared. No accountability, again. And who is on the hook? The taxpayers. The taxpayers also pay for the legal support that the mayor has need of in those circumstances to defend herself. Who pays for us? We pay out of our own pockets. We have rising costs. We have no person to really fight for and advocate for us, and then we find ourselves in city council meetings trying to get 1 minute, and we observe city council leaders talking, taking photo ops, leaving the room. I stopped going to the city council meetings because my representative in District 10, Heather Hutt, left the room every single time. You can watch it on video if you like. So if we are not getting heard, if we don't have adequate accountability that the city charter can enforce, and it's unfortunate that you have to put it in the charter for it to be something that is adhered to and addressed, but you do. Because if we've seen billions of dollars can go missing, people's lives, 2 communities were lost. And as a mental health therapist, that is more than a tragedy. That is years and years of trauma. I've met one woman who was able to put together her life again, or start to, Amanda, who now lives in Santa Monica, from the Palisades, her 2 boys, decorating for the first time on her street with skeletons for Halloween.
Sorry, 20 seconds.
But the bottom line is, you have the power to address the LAPD. You have the power to address accountability. You have a power to address the needs of the community getting met here. Do it, because that's all we have is you, your protection.
Thank you so much. And anyone else in the room? Mr. Chair, that concludes public comment.
Okay. All right, that concludes, as the executive director has just stated, that concludes the public comment. I am now going to read what item number 1 is, and then I'm going to take a short 10-minute break for people to be able to stretch their legs a little bit and get a drink, water, not a real one. And such. Item number 1 is a discussion relative to potential personnel and budget, better government structure, and planning and infrastructure related charter amendments, and to finalize recommendations to send to the full commission. With that, it is approximately 11:06, and we shall start at approximately 11:16 again. Thank you. Part of the UCLA book sales today. So, sir, you have 3 minutes to address the commission. If you would, give us your name and.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Sann, Honorable Commissioner, City staff, and audience. My name is Stephen Sann, S-A-N-N. I'm the chair of the Westwood Community Council. I'm also a member of the Friends of Westwood Library, which is part of the city of Los Angeles. We do have lots of UCLA students and faculty who come to our library, but we are actually part of the Los Angeles Public Library system. We are one of the 72 branches, and yes, we had a book sale. We have a book sale going on right now, and I was just helping and raced over here, so I truly appreciate your consideration. I am a proud, lifelong Angelino, a proud product of LAUSD my entire life. I'm a product of public schools my entire life. I graduated from UCLA where I studied political science. When I was at UCLA, if you know the name, Professor John Boland's one of the most famous professors at UCLA. There's a lecture named for him. I studied what was known as metropolitan government. It's a field they actually don't have any longer in poli-sci because it's now basically moved over to the Luskin School of Public Affairs, which of course did not exist at the time. So I literally studied state, county, city, municipal governments. When all my friends were studying political theory and international relations, I was fascinated by the organism of local government and have been my entire life. Then I went on to UCLA Law School, and so that's my background. I live here in Westwood, love this community. I would bleed and die for the city of Los Angeles. It's in my heart, it's in my soul, and I know it is in yours, or you would not be here in your role. I'm here to talk about two issues that I'm deeply concerned about, with all due respect to whoever has proposed them. Number one, as an attorney, as a graduate of UCLA Law School, the proposals that I've heard to make the city attorney either split that office or to make it somehow an appointee of the mayor. And this is no disrespect to our current mayor, Mayor Bass, or to Mayors Hahn or Villaraigosa, or, you can go all the way back. I have worked with many of the city attorneys over the years, and I can tell you, I think that is a very, very poor idea, and let me give you some specific reasons. I don't know if you as commissioners were required to do this, but I've had many colleagues who have served the city in commission capacities, whether it's on the building and safety or planning, or one of our board members is on the board of library commissioners right now. And it has become the practice. Well, let me back up. The reason for the commission system's creation in the city, if you know its history, we had in the 1920s a deeply, deeply corrupt mayor, Frank Shaw, who was notorious. And in response to the corruption that ran so deep in the city, that is when the commission city of government was created. The idea to diffuse the power and take it out of the mayor's office and spread it among citizens. We know that when citizens are appointed to commissions, they are often required to give an undated, pre-signed, but blank letter of resignation. So if a commissioner ever does something that displeases the mayor, they just resigned. We would not want to have a mayor that is under the thumb of, or our city attorney who is under the thumb of the mayor. It's essential that that's independent. And the only other point I want to make, ranked choice voting, respectfully, I deeply fear that that is an undemocratic
Thank you so much,
process.
sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for
Thank you for addressing this. Okay. That is the second time we're closing the public comment period. We will move to item number 1. And what I intend to do, fellow commissioners, is to look at the green chart that was presented to us by staff. And as I said previously, we're not going to debate at this hearing the merits of actions that we already took or we want to modify. It is whether we are going to send this to the full commission or recommend that it not go to the full commission. And at that time, the full commission can consider any modifications, amendments, or scrapping it in its entirety. Okay, the first item is under planning and infrastructure. Oh God, I just lost it, but I'll be back. As Justin knows so well, this isn't my...
I can read it for you if you want.
Please.
Sure. It's number 1 is the power.
Well, I'd like to see it again, Justin. Yeah. Where the hell did I go?
It's on a touch screen, sir. I'll help. Things pop up.
There's nothing like this.
Get out of there.
Okay. Well, Max goes and tackles that. It's empower the Director of Public Works, which was passed at the first ad hoc meeting. And the motion was originally, I believe, by Murray Thomas, that there should be a Director of Public Works that is subject to the non-transferability under 514B of the Charter, and that person shall be responsible for coordinating the CIP. The Director of Public Works, to be renamed later if necessary, is going to report to the Board of Public Works on the CIP.
Can I ask a question? Didn't we already say that we were going to present this to the full commission?
Right.
Yes.
So why are we going over this again?
Because that was the charge for
Your opportunity
this,
to cut things if you want.
to either cut it even though
Oh, I
we
see.
decided to do it, or to
Because
send it forward.
Because we still haven't gotten to like a lot of things with the budget, because that gonna be in another?
That will go to the full commission because what we haven't been given yet for consideration, the ad hoc can't really take an action on. And there's a whole number of personnel actions that we're waiting for.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, no,
But-
thank
but-
you for the question.
But can we not?
Can we not go through things that, except if they were objectionable? Like, what I would think that we would pivot to, would be those things that we have not voted on, and then also maybe those items that we voted not to send to full commission, which would be, police reform, and public advocate, and look to see if we have a change in that, as opposed to going through all of these.
And I
Can we do that?
appreciate, I didn't mean to cut you off, Jim.
Yeah, I'm just saying, can we deal with what we haven't dealt with first, and just let stand unless we're going to change?
Some of the things that we dealt with, this committee may feel that are not worthy of going on the ballot and sending to the commission, to the full commission, but yet the full commission can review it and say, the 6 of you, 5 of us today, were wrong and we want to consider it. This is for the record, I will go as quickly as possible through it because we're not doing amendments or modifications. So, to empower the Board of Director of Public Works was approved 6-0. Is there a motion to approve it to send this to the committee?
Motion.
Second.
Any objections? Seeing none, it's approved 5-0. The next item is to codify how the city does capital infrastructure planning in the charter. It was approved by the ad hoc. The number of votes isn't there, but is there a motion to do this?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
James, quit smiling like you.
Because this doesn't make sense to me. I'm just sorry.
Okay, I understand, but that's what
Okay,
Is there anyone who objects? Seeing none, it's approved, 6-0. Now we're into planning matters still. Replace APCs and other applicable appellate boards with a 5-member board of neighborhood appeals. It was approved by ad hoc. I don't have the vote count on this, but is there a motion to reaffirm this to send it to the full commission?
Move.
Second.
Any objections? 5 ayes. Allow the planning commission or other appellate bodies to consider issues de novo. Again, I think this was approved 6-0, but I'm not.
It was, yeah, it's in there. It says 6 ayes.
Where do you, I don't know what you're reading at. Anyway, is there a motion to send this to the full commission?
Motion.
Second.
Objections? 6 ayes. Eliminate charter sections 245E, and then we had modified that. So it's the modification that we're sending forward. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any objections? 6 ayes.
And to be accurate,
5 ayes.
it's really amend 245E.
Okay,
So
that's.
that doesn't look clear on the sheet, but it is.
Thank you. So we're amending charter section 245. Okay. Next is allow land use owned by rec and parks that is not being used as a park or open space to be sold. I believe that there was a clarification that was just unusable open space, basically. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Pardon?
Yes. I move the motion. Second.
Any objections? 6 ayes. Next is eliminate charter section 104E, the FAR limit of 13-1 that currently exists. And again, there were amendments to this because it still has to go through the city attorney as the CEQA implications. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
6 excuse me. Any objections? 5 ayes. streamline the quasi-judicial decision-making process.
Motion to approve.
Second, is there a second?
Second.
Objections? 6 ayes. 5 ayes. Allow the planning commission or other appellate bodies to consider issues de novo in appeals. Again, thank you. I'm starting to believe what James said. Why am I doing this? But that's, but that's okay.
We're almost.
Hey, don't leave.
Moving fast.
Is there a second?
Moving fast.
Second.
Objections?
Sorry, what number you on?
I am on number 11.
Okay.
And no objections? 5 ayes. Reform Charter Amendment 245E, which
Sorry,
was sorted with, that we've already done.
Yeah, I think that's duplicative.
That's a
there.
duplicate.
Yeah.
Number, next in order, allow land use, we've already done. Amend charter, we've already done.
Yeah, sorry, there is some mistakes in that, sorry.
So now we're to government structure. Is the motion, which was approved 4-2, was for single-member districts, 23 single-member districts. Is there a motion to approve this? Send it to the full commission. It's not an approval or disapproval at this time.
Motion to transmit.
What'd you say, sir?
I move to transmit this.
Second? Is there a second?
Second.
Objections? 5. Sorry, did not mean to cut you off.
I think we need to amend this to include proportional ranked choice voting.
That's a different issue that we will.
So we are gonna, that's on.
That's a separate issue on multi-districts.
Right, but
We're not doing amendments today to it. It's whether we want to send this to the full commission or just eliminate it and say we're not gonna have ranked choice voting. And I don't think that's the temperature of this commission.
You can amend it on later meetings, Commissioner. Wednesday. So today is yes or no, up or down to send it forward. And then if it's sent forward at either Wednesday or another meeting, it can be amended.
It's just, I mean, it's just confusing is what I'm saying, because if we didn't know when we decided not to move proportional ranked choice voting, and we did not know the impact of that, then I think our vote was uninformed. And I think if we had known what we know now, we probably would have. And so that's why I'm saying that it might be a good idea, because the other thing too is that I think the way that this ad hoc committee, the impact of this ad hoc committee is there is what, 5 of us? 6 of us?
Yes.
So we only need 1 other vote. So virtually everything that we decide in the ad hoc committee.
2 other votes.
Well, 2 other votes. We only need two other votes. And so what that means is that if we've reached consensus in this ad hoc committee, that we just need to get 2 other people to vote with us. And so ideally, and realistically, if the ad hoc committee is posing opposition to this, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna be able to pick up those 2 votes to stop that to keep us from deliberating.
But again,
I'm just trying to make this make sense.
And to me, it makes perfect sense, because I'm sure in the discussion that will come up when we send this to the full commission, some members might think 17 is the right number, others may think 101 is the right number, and that is for a discussion of the entire commission. We're just saying we want this issue to come up to the full commission. Commissioner Mesa.
Yeah, I just want to correct for the record, there were some commissioners, including me, who were aware of what the vote was at the first ad hoc meeting. And so, for example, I met with the advocates. I understand the proposals in detail on multi-member districts, on proportional ranked choice voting. I knew that if there was a number that was not divisible by 3, that multi-member would not, a multi-member district would not be possible, meaning that proportional ranked choice voting would not be possible. So I just want to be clear for the record, there were numerous commissioners who were aware of what the
Who were
vote.
the numerous commissioners that were aware?
Well, other.
I don't want to get into a back and forth.
Okay.
because-
Well, then
I just want to know if
I
you
think
want
you
to
should
send
speak
this
for
forward
yourself
or not.
and not for other commissioners. I think it, because.
I'm
we
happy
had-
to do that if you do two commissioner.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I have no
Gentlemen,
problem with that.
Gentlemen, we have a motion
May I,
on the floor. Yes,
may I ask staff a question?
You may.
When you transmit,
We might answer.
okay.
Go ahead.
When you transmit this to the full commission, are you gonna show the vote totals from this meeting or from when they were originally approved?
So we usually,
It's a mess.
we can, but so the second column, we are showing like when the most recent, motion and the most recent, date where it was approved. So I think for these, since you're not making a new motion, it would be, you're approving that motion from whenever you dealt with it, but then we update the meeting date to this meeting date.
So what is the outcome, what is the outcome of that? Because that's, it just feels slick to me. And I'm just saying, it just feels slick to me. It makes no sense. All of these things are going to be, so far, moving forward, everything that's on here. And so now, we are doubling down for the commission. Oh, not only did we vote yes, but then we had another vote. After all of the public comment, after all of the people, after people coming out saying that they wanted something different, we still voted yes. So I just don't know if that's, I don't know if that is, that's not what was explained that would be the point of this meeting. You know, I think people were asking, the reason that they wanted to dissolve this ad hoc, the reason I want to dissolve this ad hoc is because I think that it's gaming the process. I think there is a way that this games the process because the assumption is that we have deliberated on these issues and we have not. We have discussed them. And to be honest, we haven't done a good job doing that we would take some of these very important issues and decide not to move them forward. Now, we have heard the councilwoman stand in front of us and say, we should be looking at accountability measures. We should be looking at that. And so it is very misleading to me. It is just very misleading. And again, I want to get out by 12:30, so I don't want to belabor the point. I don't want to belabor the point. But I just need someone to understand. Commissioner Stein, and not just to you, but this commission in general. I just want us to be clear. I just want us to be clear. This is not clarity to me. This is confusing. I wasn't gonna come. There's no reason for me to be here.
I asked you to come.
I know you did, and I conceded. Unfortunately, I did. But what I'm saying is that if we're just gonna do the same thing that we did, why are we
Because there will be, Commissioner Thomas, I believe, certain things that we took an action to that we might not want to send to the commission.
But
That is why we're going through the
I know, but
exercise.
we've gone through this and we haven't not.
Well, then I guess when you were saying last week, you know, that we had a finite number ahead of time, that's not gonna work. That probably won't turn out to be true. Okay, let's continue. There's a motion. I believe there's a second. Is, any objections to sending this forward?
I object.
Okay.
For the record, I'm gonna object.
Well, you're gonna vote
everything.
no then?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay,
vote no
that's
then.
fine. Would you
So
poll the
just-
commission,
You
please?
can just say.
Would you like me to poll?
Please.
Okay, Commissioner, Chair Stein,
Yes.
Chair Mejia,
Yes.
Vice Chair Murray,
Yes.
Commissioner Andrades,
Yes.
and Commissioner Thomas.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is creating a chief financial officer. We put this off 1 week to have a full discussion on it. I don't believe that it's been flushed out yet. Commissioner Mason.
I would like to move that we do not advance a recommendation for the creation of a chief financial officer.
Second.
And I'm happy to speak on that.
Only if you need to. I think all of us know what the roles we were talking about,
Yeah,
so.
and I made my statements clear at the last ad hoc committee meeting.
Okay. Is there a motion to disapprove
Yeah,
the
we just
continue?
moved it, and then it was seconded by Commissioner Murray.
Okay. Any objections?
I object.
No, we're getting rid of.
Oh, sorry, was that the motion?
Yes.
Okay.
The motion is we are not moving forward with the recommendation to create the position of a chief financial officer. And it was seconded by Commissioner Murray.
Okay. Would you please poll the commission?
Sure. Chair Stein.
No.
Chair Mesa.
Yes.
Vice Chair Murray.
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
No.
Commissioner Andredes.
No.
Oh, now I gotta do math. I think that's
3-2.
That's 3-2.
3-2 to continue to create it.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So therefore, may I have a motion that we are going to have the full commission consider the appointment of a chief financial officer?
So moved.
Creation, thank you. Is there a motion to that?
So moved.
I second it. Poll the commission.
Chair Stein.
Yes.
Chair Mesa.
No.
Vice Chair Murray.
No.
Commissioner Andredes.
Yes.
And Commissioner Thomas.
I'll play musical votes.
Yes.
Because I'm sitting next to him.
So worried.
How
Okay.
ridiculous is this?
The next-
How ridiculous this is.
Thank you.
The next motion is bifurcating the city attorney's office, have an elected city attorney for prosecution basically of misdemeanors, and a separate appointed city attorney for council and legislative matters. This was approved by the ad hoc on a 5-1 with Commissioner Thomas voting nay. Is there a motion to send this motion to the full commission?
So moved.
Second. Hold the commission.
Is there objection?
Oh, excuse me?
Sorry.
Is there objection? I assumed you were gonna vote no because you already have.
There's someone who said it needs to be 4 votes to move forward. Nothing has.
Six-member commission, you need a majority. He's right.
Also,
This is
Of the
an ad
committee.
hoc. I don't
Of the
believe
committee.
you're correct.
You don't need a majority to have it in order to move it forward.
That is a good question that we will have to triple check on.
that ain't appropriate. That's not okay. That's not okay. You should know.
He's right.
That's not okay. What I'm talking about is that we have pushed things forward and we have not pushed things forward. And I asked about a quorum and I was told we don't need one.
So this is a slightly different question, Commissioner.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Maybe the language is different, the semantics is different, but I wanted to know when I decided that I wasn't going to come, and we had this discussion in the commission meeting the other day. What we were told was that there is no threshold, and that a 3-3 vote was not sufficient. And so we blocked police reform because we had a 3-3 vote. And so what I don't understand
I
is.
believe that was a 4-2 vote, Mr. Thomas.
No, I think it was 3-3. It was 4-2?
Yes.
I know it was 3-3. I don't know what.
I'm gonna double check. We have the list.
We don't have to double check. I just told you. You don't even know that we need this. You don't even know that this is an issue.
Okay, Mr. Thomas.
I'm done. You know what? I'm gonna go. Because I need to leave at 12:30.
And I'm trying to accommodate you.
But this
with
is
you
a-
being here. Okay.
This is just ridiculous.
There is a motion on
We have young people in the room.
the bifurcation of the city attorney's office. I believe there is a second to that. We know that Mr. Thomas is objecting, so therefore I'm calling for a roll call vote so he can put that on the record. Poll
Chair-
the commission,
Sure.
please.
Chair Stein.
Yes.
Chair Mesa.
Yes.
Vice Chair Murray.
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
No.
And Commissioner Andredes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Steve, aren't you glad you stayed?
No. No, I'm not. waste of time.
Okay, next is budget independence by the city controller. It was approved, well, I'm gonna try to take all of them. Budget independence by the city controller, require minimum qualifications for the city controller, and clarify the controller's audit authority, including performance audits of all city programs that are sourced from or use city tax dollars, including those under elected officials, and enshrine the controller's fraud, waste, and abuse functions. All of those were approved previously by the subcommittee on a 6-0 vote. Is there a motion for this?
I'm gonna make a motion to approve and just add an example here for the commissioners is, again, there's been discussion to amend this, and I imagine that that discussion is gonna happen at the full commission on Wednesday. So we're approving to advance this discussion to the commission. So I am moving this item.
I will second the motion. Is there any objection? Seeing none, all of those items are approved on a 5-0. Adopt ranked choice voting.
So moved.
Second.
Any objections? Just want to know for the record,
I
I voted
object.
no against this, and I'm still a no, but I will vote yes because we're just basically saying, should it be moved to the full commission?
There's an objection, so I can poll.
Yes, there is.
Yes. Chair Stein.
Yes.
Chair Meza.
Yes.
Vice Chair Murray.
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
No.
And Commissioner Andres. Yes. Okay, thank you.
Okay, next is lower the voting age to 16 for city and municipal elections. Again, it was a 5-1 vote.
Can you maybe do that in a package, because it seems like it's.
Oh, okay, thank you, good recommendation. The next items are lowering the voting age in city municipal elections, lowering the voting age to 16 for LAUSD elections, expand voting in municipal elections to non-citizens, expand voting in LAUSD elections to non-citizens, change how commissioners are appointed, and change ballot access and increase mayoral power. Is there a motion to approve all of those items?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any objections?
I object.
Therefore, we will poll the commission.
Chair Stein.
Wait, you object on every one of the motions?
Not every one of the motions, but I'm gonna just for the record, I'm just gonna object in case I'm influenced by my.
Okay. Could you poll the
colleague.
commission, please?
Chair Stein.
Yes.
Chair Meza.
Yes.
Vice Chair Murray.
Yes.
Commissioner Andres.
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
No. Okay, the next items fall under better government. First motion was, okay, I think we can combine items 28, 29, 30, and 31, if I'm not mistaken.
Sure. I can read them out for you if you like, just so that they're in the record.
Yes.
Please.
Provide clearer language for suspension of a council member pending trial, clarify compensation requirements in charter for electeds under suspension, require the city to hold a special election for vacancies if more than half of the term remains, provide the option to appoint or use special election if less than half the term, create a mechanism to enable removal or initiation of removal of an elected official that involves a vote of the city council. And I think that's all of them, correct? That's the package? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Is there a motion on those items?
So moved.
Is there a second? I'll second it just to see what happens. Are there objections?
Yes.
Okay, are there any other objections?
I'm not objecting, I think this is a pretty paltry package, but I'll move it forward. I'm not impressed by these recommendations, but.
I would like to add, follow up, I will be introducing a motion to increase this on Wednesday, this list, but I'm gonna vote to move this forward under that.
Okay. Will you poll the commission, please?
Sure, Chair Stein,
Yes.
Chair Mejia,
Yes.
Vice Chair Murray,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
No.
Commissioner Jarvis.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's approved. Okay. I'm just seeing if the next ones all relate to LAUSD or not. Just the first two, then we will take up, remove Charter Section 803 LAUSD and add that to the municipal code. And we'll apply, number 33 would be apply the LAUSD process for adjusting contribution limits, the city contribution limits. 34, I think, falls within it. Update the contribution limits to reflect current amounts, because it seemed to be all part of the thing. You agree?
Yeah.
Okay. And prohibit the use of campaign funds to pay certain fines. And next would be make the maximum civil penalty for violations of campaign finance laws the same as the maximum administrative penalty. Next would be specify the charter that additional public funding models are permissible. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are there objections
Yes.
to each and every one, or just in general, Mr. Thomas, to all those
I'm
items?
saying each and every one is the
Thank you.
protest objective.
Any other objections?
I think you may have skipped one.
Thank you, Article 9, is that the one you're speaking of, sir?
Is the one that says make the maximum civil penalty for violations of the campaign finance law.
Okay.
That's 36.
36 is thank you, sir. Make the maximum civil penalty for violations of campaign finance laws the same as the maximum administrative penalty. And I guess we could add 37, and I'll ask somebody to restate their motion, specify in the charter that additional public financing models are permissible.
Yeah, I can restate the motion.
Would you please?
Yeah, to advance the original motion, which is encompassed in rows 32 through 37, starting with remove Charter Section 803, ending with specify in the charter that additional public financing models are permissible.
Okay. I assume, Mr. Thomas, you still have an objection?
I do, but I'm leaving, so it
But
won't matter to me.
you can vote on this one, then you can leave, if you choose. Is there a motion? There's a motion and a second. We want to poll. Any other objections? Want to poll the commission, please?
Chair Stein,
Yes.
Chair Mejia,
Yes.
Vice Chair Murray,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
No.
Commissioner Jarvis.
Yes.
The next item would be item 38, Article 9, Section 900, purpose, replace the term citizen with civic. Item 39, amend language, establish the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment by replacing the term officers with board members. Item 40, clarify the commission role of approval of contracts and leases prepared on behalf of neighborhood councils. 41, update section 904 title. 42, update section 905 title as initial implementation of the plan.
Commissioner Stein, before we take a vote, and because I am leaving, but I want to very quickly address something that came up. One of the community members feels uncomfortable with me saying
advocating for black people and just saying that. And so there may be other people who feel that way. But if you really want to understand why I do that, and I've tried to be very clear about why I do that, but if you look at that within the context of anti-Semitism, that's why I continue to say anti-blackness. And so it's important to know that when I'm lifting up and advocating for black people, I never do anything exclusive to black people. Black people have never fought for themselves and only won for themselves. All of us enjoy the fights, have enjoyed the privileges of the fights that black people have taken on and lost their lives for. But I want to let the people know that if I am alienating, that is not what I'm trying to do. But I understand that I have been alienated, and so when I speak my mind, it's going to seem as if I'm alienating. And so I apologize for anyone who have felt some kind of way about that. And as I said, I'm not saying I'm gonna stop, because I have no faith and confidence in this country and the way that it speaks about black people, and we see that happening in the national news today. Not much outrage about that. And the pushback in terms of the city council woman, in terms of what she said, in that Hitler has been long dead, but anti-Semitism is on the rise. And so just because someone is no longer in a position of power doesn't mean that their ideology does not continue and grow. Anti-Semitism today is almost like fashionable. You know, it's almost like, you know, it doesn't even seem like a thing anymore because it's so widespread. And so I just wanted to say that so that it is clear. And I am leaving in protest, because this is not, this, in my opinion, and my votes have been in protest, so commissioners watching this, pay no attention to the nays. I just feel like I need to be on the record saying that this ad hoc committee that no one in the community wanted to have is a waste of time. So God bless y'all, God keep y'all, see you soon.
Your comments are noted. We'll see you at the meeting next week.
All right.
Thank you. Is there a motion on those items?
Can you restate it, please?
Sure. It would be, if you have it on.
I do.
Okay. It would start with, we did citizen officers.
It would start with row 38.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Article 9, Section 9, purpose, replace the term citizen with civic. Number 39, amend language, establish a Department of Neighborhood Empowerment done by replacing terms officers with board members. Number 40, clarify the commission's role in approval of contracts and leases prepared on behalf of neighborhood councils. I just lost my place. I was looking over for James. Number 40, clarify the commission's role in approval of contracts and leases prepared on behalf of neighborhood councils. 41, update 904 title. 42, update 905 title to initial implementation of the plan. Number 43, update 906A1, certification of neighborhood councils to clarify the bylaws must specify the method officers and board members are selected. 44, replace everyone who lives, works, or owns property in the area with all stakeholders as defined by it. 45, change section 907 title. 46, expand section 908. And 47, no change in neighborhood council's authority. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Before we do that, for the record, Mr. Thomas has left the meeting and we're down to 4 commissioners at this point. Okay. There's a motion by Commissioner Andrades. Is there a second?
Second.
May I make a statement?
Absolutely. Hold on.
Thank you. I just wanted to say, that we did vote on this. They gutted a lot of the neighborhood council's recommendations. I regret that vote. I am moving to move this forward, but I don't think this should be an exhaustive list. I'm not sure what the other commissioners are gonna do with the full commission meeting. Based upon the, discussion at the last full commission meeting, I think one of the other commissioners was going, I can't remember whether it was Mac or Fuentes, was gonna move forward some different language, additional language on neighborhood council. So, on that note, yeah, I'm not opposing.
So you're a yes?
Yeah.
Just real quick, Commissioner Murray, I can tell you that a commissioner will be making a motion to review all the length proposals individually.
Thank you.
And I am a yes. So that 4-0?
Yeah, if there's no objection for it.
No objections? Okay. Next item would be the preamble language.
Pending the report from Rewrite LA.
That is correct.
So moved.
Second. Any objections? 4 ayes. Budget and personnel and budget. Develop a 2-year operating budget. I'm seeing if I can put these together.
Yeah, these two.
Adopt a community-driven and city-supported participating budget process.
Yeah.
Is there a motion to move these 2 items forward to the full commission?
So moved.
Second, please.
Second.
Any objections? 4 ayes. Next would be add periodic charter review to the charter.
So moved.
Second. Any objections? 4 ayes. Next would be on police accountability and police transparency. Perhaps I should read this into the record. Develop a commission on police review, transparency, and policy is mandated by the charter, in the charter. This commission will have the audit and subpoena authority over LAPD, will have substantive independent budget, direct access onto the ballot. Commissioners will be paid stipends, it's a heck of a lot more than what we're getting, so that the community members will have the ability to serve and will be required to have at-large commissioners, whomever has appointing authority, and if they don't exercise their appointing authority after a certain number of days, those seats will become additional slots for at-large members. Is there any objections?
Objection. I think it's a Band-Aid solution,
Okay.
poorly thought out.
Any other objections? Poll the commission, please.
Chair Stein,
Yes.
Chair Meza,
Yes.
Vice Chair Murray,
No.
Commissioner Andrades.
Yes.
Okay, the next are some of them are pretty much procedural matters, but,
Motion fails, I guess.
well, that's gonna be up to the city attorney, Ross, not that.
Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't speaking with you, Ted.
I don't know.
If it fails, it may not even go forward. I don't think you really want that to fail, that we're moving it so it can be discussed by the full commission.
I mean,
Anyways,
Yeah,
moving on.
I'm just throwing that out for consideration. Next would be 54, include best value and competitive bids in section 371A, Port of LA, LA DWAP. Really would be part of LAWA also, is it not? Mr. Executive Director, I thought we included that and then didn't get back into this.
Today, is that a Wawa thing also? I think so.
Yeah, I do too, so.
Yeah, I think they wanted that as well. We'll triple check, but we could, if you wanna make the motion to include them, that, to cover our bases, that will work.
Is there a motion to include LAWA?
So moved.
Second, any objections? 4 ayes, okay. remove required ordinance for competitive sealed proposals and allow this procurement process to be approved by the Board of Harbor Commissions in section 371B of the Port of LA Public Works, DWP, and again, I thought LAWA was included in this. Do I need an amendment on this, Mr. Chair?
You can, sorry, you can just state that in your motion you're going to.
And when this motion is made, I would ask whatever commissioner makes the motion, that they include LAWA in it also, so we have the
Yeah,
propriety.
so moved.
Okay. Is there
Second.
Objections? 4 ayes. Next item, 56, include exceptions to the lowest bid criteria for critical infrastructure and software in sections 371E. Includes the Port of LA and LAWA. 57, small business preferences, public works. 58, allow technical or administrative defects to be cured, section 470C, paren 12, paren H, LAWA. Leases up to 65 years, section 607A. Self-certification, number 60. Self-certification and self-permitting within LAWA, Van Nuys Airport, and specific plan areas. 61, conforming changes to authorities having jurisdiction, section 520 LAFD, section 500, 550 and 551 city planning, and section 580 and 581 public works and LAWA. 62, broaden ability to sole source contracts with OEMs for critical equipment repairs, services, and software. 63, allow advance payments for long lead time equipment and critical infrastructure to secure production. That's DWP. 64, increase purchase order limits, DWP. 65, increase approval limits for certain purchases, including increasing GM approval authority, that's DWP. That motion was approved on a 5-1 with Commissioner Thomas voting no. Is there a motion here to approve those items?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Cole, is there any objection? Seeing none, 4 ayes. Now, I do have a question, even though it's something that I'm opposed to. I think we voted to eliminate, among other things, multi-districts. I don't see that here as well as we want to send it, or is it staff that believes that because we sent forward the motion on ranked choice voting, that is inherently included within it?
So, yeah, so, the ad hoc committee thus far did not vote to approve multi-member, and then also did vote to approve single member 23 and ranked choice voting specifically. So those are the actions that are part of this report, and actions on this page, and actions that were, for example, multi-member districts and proportional ranked choice voting, which kind of go hand in hand. Those were disposed of.
Commissioner Stein, I fully believe that a commissioner on Wednesday will make an amendment to add back in a proposal for multi-member districts with proportional ranked choice voting. I also fully believe that they will get a second, which will prompt discussion of the full commission.
Okay. So there's no action needs to be taken on that. Are there any other motions that in the last 2 weeks we disapproved, that we have to send that disapproval forward to the full commission? Where were you when I needed you?
I'm so bummed I just missed that. I'm sorry.
Are there any other motions? Are there any other motions that were voted upon by our committee that we voted not to move forward, that we can either continue not to vote not to move forward?
I believe that, Commissioner Fuentes is gonna be, moving forward, police accountability measure.
I believe that falls within we didn't vote, I believe that falls within moving forward our Christopher Commission, where at that time, Commissioner Fuentes or anyone else can amend it in front of the full commission. But are there any where we just said no as a body, and therefore we probably might still be no if it's not covered by what can already be brought up by any commissioner at our meeting?
I don't believe so.
I'm gonna address this to staff. I appreciate both of your comments, but I'm gonna address it to staff.
Yep.
So not to hold you accountable or Melinda accountable. Are there any others, Max? Justin?
We'll of course do a final sweep. There will probably be things that we, for example, like personnel, that we are still waiting on patiently for our personnel department and Malika to come with recommendations, which I'm told are still likely to happen for this commission to consider. And at that point, of course, it would go to be the full commission considering it.
Okay. Anything else from any of my commissioners? I want you to know that we beat Mr. Thomas's 12:30. It is 10 minutes after 12. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
I may well vote no, and if Ross is right, it doesn't,
And
non-teasing.
I just wanna
By acclamation.
Oh, we need to do ex parte.
We do it twice?
Yes, twice. Commissioners, did anybody have an ex parte communication during this meeting that they'd like to report?
Yes, I spoke with Anna from the mayor's office about the audit function of the controller's office, and Mr. Caputo was present during that discussion. It was approximately, 5 minutes maybe?
Approximately.
Thank you.
We
will take note of that as well.
Yeah, I'd like the record to show that I was in earshot but not participating, but for transparency, I can overhear the sentiments of the mayor.
That's, we'll take it. I mean, for transparency and abundance of caution. I just want to thank, I want to thank these commissioners, you know.
We haven't adjourned yet.
Well, before you adjourn, I want to thank you, you took up these additional meetings and the additional work to do this, which, you know, also gave opportunity for additional outreach and additional public comment, additional input from leaders, both inside and outside of City Hall. So your hours, I am greatly appreciative. Thank you so much.
All right, there's a motion to adjourn. Is there anybody objecting? Then unanimously, we are adjourned. I don't know if that's just because it went quickly or because we're adjourned.